Hi guys, it's Scissors, and today I thought I would talk about candles. So this is my altar here, as you can see, and I have quite a few candles on it. Not a huge amount, but it's still a lot for such a small space for me. First off, I would like to point out that when using candles, you should be very, very cautious. Never leave a candle burning alone, unattended, and you should really be careful about what clothing you're wearing, especially if you have sleeves like mine. Be very, very, very careful. If you have long sleeves and you are messing with lit candles, you should roll them up. So there are a couple of there's actually quite a few ways that I use candles. The first way is for illumination. I have illuminator candles on my altar. Right now, I just have some tea lights, and they're lit. I light these generally before I cast the circle, before I do anything else, just to bring light to my altar so that I can see what I'm doing, so I can read from my Book of Shadows. I also have my working candle, or my me candle, because this represents me. It's just a white candle because white is a color that represents all colors. It can be used for any working. I use this to represent myself on my altar, and when I light it, it acts as a trigger. So when I light the candle, it's telling myself, I'm at my altar, I'm doing magic now, or I'm getting ready for a ritual, it's time to focus, because this is what I'm doing. And that usually sits on my altar. If I don't have room for it on my altar, it'll be just off to the side where I can see it. Another way that I use candles is as representations of the elements. Here I have my fire candle, which is a red votive. If you can see, it was made a little bit funky. I made this one, and I was not paying attention to whether or not the wick was in the center of the candle. I also have God and Goddess candles, and these change depending on the season and the setup and whether or not I'm celebrating a Sabbath. Right now I have these little, they're tea lights right now. I am going to be making some larger ones very soon, and I will, because these are about to go out, and when I do that I will light the new God and Goddess candles from the old ones. I also use candles for spell work. You can see here I have a larger taper candle burning. I only use those for spells that I need or want to last all day or over the course of several days, if I'm going to be lighting them for a certain amount of time every day. Or a time where I know I'm going to be home, I know I'm going to be sitting right next to it, and I'm going to let it burn all day until it goes out. They usually last for several hours. Most people use these smaller, what are called chime candles. No, it shows up better next to the black, but we're over here. But these are very small tapers. You can see it's shorter than my hand is, but these burn out relatively quickly, usually about an hour on a long day. I've had them burn for a lot longer than that, actually, and sometimes they only last me half an hour. So I use these for spells that I need to be a lot shorter, or where I don't have the time to sit with them for an extended amount of time, because you never leave fire unattended. I have candles for the Sabbats. This is my Samhain candle. I saw it in the drawer, so I just grabbed this one. This is a scented candle. It smells like pumpkin pie. I generally like to get scented candles for these. I'm sorry, the cat was messing with its food bowl. I will light this starting a week before the Sabbath, and I will burn it every day through the Sabbath, and I keep that on my altar while I'm getting ready. Ooh, the sun came out. I don't have my candle for in bulk up yet. I need to get that. I have this candle. This is it's kind of like my working candle, except that this is my new moon candle, because I go to a new moon ceremony at my local New Age shop once a month for the new moon. a bunch of us get together and we bring a candle to represent ourselves. These are white skull candles. These were actually taper candles. I bought it at Target like a week after Samhain or Halloween. So it looked like this. It's just a bunch of skulls stacked up on top of each other. But I like to use skull candles to use for healing, to get to the head of the problem, or to represent a person. I have a large skull candle that I use to represent my ancestors. So that's it for the actual candles themselves. Other things I like to do is I like to recycle wax. If you can see here, my mom just gave me this beautiful candle holder. And in it is the remains of a candle that she burned down. And I have quite a lot of used wax, actually. And I melt this down in a double boiler, and I pour it into molds and I make new candles. I don't do that with a spell candle. I like to bury those. Sometimes I throw them away, depending on what I'm doing. If I'm trying to bring something into my life, I will bury the candle on my property, or the stub of it, the remaining wax. If I'm trying to get rid of something or banish something, send something away from me, I will usually throw it away, because I think I would get in trouble if I buried something off of my property. But so that's what I do. I also like to put carvings into my candles. This is my awl. I carved this out of a piece of apple wood. It has a point that is kind of like a calligraphy pen, sort of. But this, yeah, I just kind of use it as a pen, and I write things into the wood, not into the wood, into the wax. You can get like a real awl, which is made out of metal, at a craft store. I made mine. Some people make them, they use a nail or a needle. I used a needle for a very long time, and then I decided I need to upgrade, so I got my awl, and I can sharpen this. So yes. Before I ever use a candle, I like to anoint it with oil. This is an oil that I made. If you can see a little bit closer. I make my oils by cold infusion, and I might go over that in another video. Actually, I think I will. I will explain it in another video. So this is just a general all-purpose oil, but sometimes I might make an oil for a specific Sabbath, or for a specific person. Like, you can make healing oil, luck oil, money oil, protection oil, all of those kinds of things. And then you would anoint the candle with that. Another thing is that when I anoint my candles, there are several ways to do it. And a lot of people go by just one way. And some people have a few different ways. I have several different ways that I do it. And I'll use this candle as an example. To draw something towards you or to myself, like I wanted to bring money in, let's say. Would not be using a red candle, but still. You would take the oil and you would anoint it from the top to the middle, and then from the bottom to the middle. And that's to draw something towards you. To send something away, you would go from the bottom to the middle, and then the top to the middle with the oil. Another way that I like to do it is to do counterclockwise and clockwise, or jostle and widdershins. So I have a tea light here, and you usually don't. I usually keep them in the metal casing, so if I want to draw something towards me, I would go jostle, usually 3 times, with the oil, and if I wanted to send something away from me, I would go widdershins with the oil. So that's another way to anoint candles. But if you have a candle that's broken, I wouldn't use it, because that break in the candle is kind of like a stop of energy. It inhibits the flow of the energy, and that's why I don't like to use broken candles. So that is pretty much everything I have to say about candles. That is my ramble. Mucha love and blessed be, you guys.